68% of Americans support it. 40% of Americans have smoked it. Its users range from famed writers such as Shakespeare to accomplished athletes like Michael Phelps. The stigma attached to it is one of laziness, but many of its users are a contradiction to this image. I'm not talking about tobacco, I'm referring to marijuana. The history of marijuana spans back to before that of humanity itself. The plant has grown indigenously and is thought to have first originated in modern-day Mongolia. Since then, the plant has spread all over the world, being grown on nearly every continent. According to Agatha Blasak, the plant has been used medicinally since at least the medieval era, being used for toothaches and childbirth. According to Mark Hugnon, historically the plant has been used by commoners, nobility, and Shakespeare, as a tobacco pipe of his recently tested positive for cannabis. The major issue regarding marijuana in the U.S. is its legal status. Despite its number of users, marijuana remains federally illegal. This is particularly surprising given the fact that as of Election Day, all but 3 states have some form of medical marijuana program. Its federal status of illegality is harmful to people in many ways, especially those that use marijuana for its notable benefits in alleviating ailments. Because the plant is federally illegal, in the states where marijuana laws are not present, these people have no options for receiving relief. This is also an issue because these states have economic and social costs too, resulting from the amount of money law enforcement wastes on the war on marijuana, the lost potential tax revenue, and the human costs associated with arrests and the career roadblocks that follow from that. From 2001 to 2010, 7 million people were arrested for possession of marijuana, according to the ACLU. Medical marijuana has far too many benefits to remain illegal and should be federally legalized. What are the benefits of medical marijuana? One of the most irrefutable benefits of marijuana is its ability to alleviate pain, inflammation, and other ailments, especially of neurological origin. According to Dr. Grinspoon of Harvard Medical School, the most common use for medical marijuana in the United States is for pain control. While marijuana is not strong enough for severe pain, it is quite effective for the chronic pain that plagues millions of Americans, especially as they age. In addition to this, Dr. Grinspoon goes on to state that, in particular, marijuana appears to ease the pain of multiple sclerosis and nerve pain in general. This is an area where few other options exist, and those that do, such as neurontin, Lyrica, or opiates, are highly sedating. Medical marijuana is not solely an aid to health. Looking at the states that have legalized the plant, it's easy to see that there are significant economic benefits as well. States are raking in billions of dollars each year in tax revenue due to medical marijuana legalization. As far as how that tax revenue is spent, generally healthcare, education, drug abuse prevention, and law enforcement get their fair share. Each state's legal body decides on the exact distribution. If we look at one of the biggest revenue makers, Colorado, it has so far spent 31.7% on human services. Public health and environment received 20.7%. While education and local affairs got about 16% each. The beauty of this is that tax revenue can go wherever it's needed most in a state. Another part of the economic equation to consider is how much money we spend incarcerating our people for marijuana. According to Insider, police dedicate $3.6 billion annually enforcing possession laws and make about 820,000 arrests per year. This is money in our pocket that could be benefiting our states and infrastructure and is instead being thrown away to lock citizens up. In addition to what this costs the taxpayer, the person being incarcerated is obviously deeply financially burdened. Defending a marijuana arrest can cost anywhere between $2,000 and $20,000 for individuals who want to fight their cases, and some jurisdictions have further financial consequences. Beyond legal costs, these people are further penalized when it comes to their income as well. Incarceration rates reduce the rate of wage growth by about 30% over the course of a person's lifetime, and it makes it harder to get a job done in the first place. Overall, The economic benefits of marijuana greatly outweigh its cost and make it easy to wonder, why is this illegal? One of the largest detrimental effects of the illegality of marijuana is that it disenfranchises millions of Americans. It damages their mental health, and it keeps them behind bars. Many Americans are still being denied the right to vote because of felonious possession charges, even though possession of marijuana is legal in many states now. Some states, such as Arizona, specifically Maricopa County, has just started expunging records, but many other people are still sitting with felonies for marijuana possession and unable to vote. In regard to the mental health harm, North Carolina State University found that being arrested is associated with adverse mental health outcomes, and even if an individual isn't ultimately charged with a crime, it ends up being detrimental to mental health. In addition to this, new research finds that being convicted of a crime is associated with the decline in one's physical health. Another concerning aspect of incarceration is the difference in treatment between whites and people of color. According to the ACLU, blacks have been nearly 4 times more likely than whites to have been arrested for marijuana possession. Legalization of marijuana is a crucial step in improving the well-being of our citizens. Allowing access to its medical, economics, and social benefits will allow our country to become greater in countless ways. The plant has been used historically for centuries and is a needless injustice that we have been chosen to fight against our roots and outlaw such a beneficial drug. I believe that the benefits of this plant outweigh its costs, and it seems others are realizing this as well as most of our states, since they have now started to legalize it. My ideal world is one where this plant is federally legalized and those that need it can access it in an easy and safe way. One where our money for this drug is supporting our communities and infrastructure instead of being used to incarcerate and disenfranchise our fellow Americans.